Well, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the United States Navy and Naval Air Station Lemoore, it's time to present the United States Navy's A-18E Super Hornet flight demonstration, intended to replace the venerable F-14 Tomcat and the aging Legacy Hornets. The Boeing-built A-18E Super Hornet is the Navy's newest frontline tactical aircraft. Known as the Rhino by those who fly it, the Super Hornet builds on a combat-proven design of the original Hornet with improvements such as a 30% larger surface area, larger payload, longer range, and increased lethality. The aircraft performing for you today is the E model, which incorporates a one-seat cockpit. Here comes your United States Navy's A-18E Super Hornet. He will experience 8 times the force of gravity, positive, and negative 3 times gravity as he maneuvers the aircraft to the edge of its operating envelope. From 100 miles per hour to 700 miles per hour, he'll demonstrate all the capabilities of your United States Navy's A-18E Super Hornet. Look to the left, ladies and gentlemen, after a quick 1.5 Cuban 8. Watch for the dirty roll, aerodynamically dirty. Gear out, watch for the dirty roll right here at Show Center. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your United States Navy's A-18E Super Hornet. Throws the stick over to the right, putting the Super Hornet in upright position, setting up for the flat pirouette. The Super Hornet's 42,000 pounds of thrust in full afterburner enables the aircraft to turn at great power in a very short time. This is the minimum radius turn to descends out to the right-hand side, he's got the throttles forward in full afterburner with raw jet fuel being poured into the exhaust. He will be approaching us at nearly the speed of sound, nearly Mach 1. Being careful not to exceed that because it'd set off every car alarm in the lot. But approaching the speed of sound, you'll notice the sound of the aircraft doesn't reach us until he reaches show center, indicating the high approach speed. Ladies and gentlemen, the Super Hornet high speed pass. Oh, look at the vapor! How'd you like the vapor, everybody? Was that cool or what? I hope you got great pictures of that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, the Super Hornet is going to set up for the vertical pirouette. This time, demonstrating the ability at slow speed to reverse directions, go from up to almost straight down in a very, very short period of time. Is going to set up for a maneuver known as the square. You've seen it performed today already, including one of the smallest loops in the world, flown by Sean D. Tucker. This one will be a little bit larger, and it won't be round. In this case, McLovin's going to square it off. 4 different sides of a square loop. He'll approach at 350 miles per hour and pull back on the stick into a vertical climb for side 1. Watch this. Show center. It's a 17-pole vertical. A square loop from your United States Navy's A-18E Super Hornet. Some of the noise that you're hearing from the Super Hornet comes from the fact that the fuel is being poured into the exhaust, and literally the exhaust is going supersonic. And with engines rated at over 42,000 pounds of thrust, some reference books say 44,000 pounds of thrust, this aircraft has the kick in the pants necessary to get into a fight or out of a fight very rapidly. But now, as Luke Farrell, call sign McLovin from VFA 122 at Naval Air Station Lemoore, approaches from the right, this time he's going to slow it down, pull the engines back to idle, and roll it over on its back for the inverted whisper pass. Sean D. Tucker in the F-16 Fighting Falcon, both of those aircraft pulling the nose way up. Angle of attack is the number of degrees the nose is pitched up above the horizon or relative wind or below it. In this case, a high angle of attack means the aircraft will pull the nose up many degrees above the horizon. The dual digital flight control system aboard the A-18E Super Hornet allows this airplane to perform in a way almost no other aircraft in the world can perform. As McLovin approaches, he'll come back on the power, bring the nose up, bring the power in a little bit more, bring the nose up some more. He is now, ladies and gentlemen, 25 or 26 degrees of nose up attitude, or 26 degrees alpha. Take a look. He is also slowing down to about 110 miles per hour across the ground. This, ladies and gentlemen, is about 1/10 to the speed of the Super Hornet. Look at that. A-18E Super Hornet. The annals of naval aviation history are rich. It was, however, during World War II that the full capability of naval air power was realized. The courageous efforts of only a few naval aviators changed the course of the Pacific War, playing decisive roles at the battles of the Coral.
Native Bearcat and the F-18 Super Hornet. The old and the new, Rob, but what a combination.
Indeed. You know, it's interesting as we look back at a target or a group of targets, and they used to say, how many targets can one, excuse me, how many... There's the pass of the legacy flight. They used to say, how many bombers will it take to destroy a target? Now they say, how many targets can one bomber destroy?
So much more than what, you know, that you would normally consider. When you hit a slamming deck at the pitch of night, you want to make sure that that landing gear underneath is going to hold up, and it does. So strength is one of the things, the integral pieces of a Navy fighter or a Navy.
Quarters a mile, call the ball.
Every 2 weeks.
Roger, ball. Watch the descent rate. at about 6 to 700 feet a minute, I should say. He'll slam down on the deck of the carrier, and those really strong landing gear are really going to take some punishment on each and every landing that happens.
So does the whole aft fuselage, Rob, because the hook is what grabs the wire. And you can imagine stopping. What's the weight on one of these?
About 40,000 pounds.
Yeah, 40,000 pounds, and stopping it in such a short distance. You know that